Good morning, this is Bob Mason from FX Empire and welcome to the daily crypto tech review of Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin and Ripple's XRP. We'll be looking at the MACDs, the moving averages and the support, resistance and pivot levels. It is Monday, the 12th of October. Jumping straight into Bitcoin against the US dollar, we're looking at the hourly candlesticks. It's a relatively bearish start to the day. Going to see Bitcoin move back through the pivot at 11,372 to support a run at the first major resistance level sitting at 11,464. Going to need to see support from the broader market, however, for Bitcoin to break back through to 11,400 levels. So barring an extended rally on the day, expect that first major resistance level and resistance at 11,500 to pin Bitcoin back. In the event of a breakout, the second major resistance level sitting at 11,543 and resistance at 11,600 to limit any upside. Failure to move back through the pivot, bring the first major support level sitting at 11,293 into play. Barring an extended sell-off, Bitcoin should stick to a sub 11,200. Second major support level sits at 11,200. Looking at the MACD, we've got a slight narrowing of the bearish histograms after yesterday's bearish cross there. Nothing conclusive, however, to support any upward momentum through the morning. Looking at the EMAs, we're also seeing the 50 flatten out on the 100 and the 200. So key through the early part of the day, move back through the pivot at 372 and back through to 11,400 levels to bring resistance levels into play. Moving across to Ethereum against the US dollar, it's a bearish start to the morning. Going to need to see Ethereum move back through the pivot at 373.63 to support a run at the first major resistance level sitting at 378.24. Going to need to see support from the broader market for Ethereum to break out from yesterday's high, 377.49. So barring an extended rally through the day, that first major resistance level and yesterday's high should limit any upside. In the event of a breakout, 380s and the second major support level sitting at 382.10 should come into play. Failure to move back through the pivot would bring the first major support level sitting at 369.77 into play and the 38.2% fib at 367. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, Ethereum should avoid sub 360s. Second major support level sitting at 365.16 should limit any downside. Looking at the MACD, we've got a slight widening of the bearish histogram supportive of this early move south. On the EMAs, 50 has flattened out on the 100 and the 200 as well. So key through the early part of the day is for Ethereum to move back through that pivot at 373.63 to then bring resistance levels into play. Failure to do that and expect that first major support level and the 38.2% fib to come into play. Moving across to Litecoin against the US dollar, it's also a bearish start to the morning. Going to need to see Litecoin move back through the pivot at 50.15 to support a run at the first major resistance level sitting at 51.58. Going to need to see broad-based crypto rally for Litecoin to break out from yesterday's high 51.25. So barring an extended rally throughout the day, expect that first major resistance level to pin Litecoin back. In the event of a breakout, you could see Litecoin visit 52 levels and the second major resistance level sitting at 52.69 before any pullback. Failure to move through the pivot, bring the first major support level sitting at 49.04 into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, Litecoin should steer well clear of the second major support level sitting at 47.61. Looking at the MACD, we've got a bearish cross there late yesterday and a widening of the bearish histogram this morning, supportive of this early morning pullback. So failure to move through that pivot level will bring support levels into play. The EMAs, the 50 is holding its ground against the 100 and the 200, however, so inconclusive on the EMAs at present. So keep an eye on the pivot levels, and a move back through to 51 levels should support a breakout. Failure to do that, and we're going to see support levels in play. Finally, looking at Ripple's XRP against the US dollar, also bearish start to the morning. Going to need to see Ripple's XRP move through the pivot at 0.2558 to support run at the first major resistance level at 2581. Going to see support from the broad market for Ripple's XRP to break back through to 0.258 levels, however. So barring an extended rally on the day, expect that first major resistance level to cap any upside. In the event of a breakout, got resistance at 0.26 and the second major resistance level at 0.2606 to limit any upside. Failure to move through the pivot with the first major support level sitting at 0.2532 into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, Ripple's XRP should steer clear of sub 0.25. Second major support level at 0.2510 should limit any downside. Looking at the MACDs, we've got a widening of the bearish histogram supportive of this early morning pullback, and the 50 EMA has narrowed on the 100 and the 200, also suggestive of a bearish morning. So failure to move through that pivot at 0.2588 would bring the first major support level into play.